But now we're also moving into the next session. The topic is the journey of a future surgeon, challenges, opportunities, and insights. This is going to be a very insightful conversation given to us by Dr. Raghav Bansal. Dr. Raghav Bansal, who is with us here today, is an amazing physician, a clinical researcher, and surgical educator. He currently works in the Department of General Surgery at Adesh Institute of Medical Sciences and Research, Patinda, and is the president and co-founder of Magister Chirurgien. Dr. Bansa is an active guest reviewer for Springer's Nature's Journal. Wow, that is a very big journal, and contributes to advancing surgical research, training, and mentorship for aspiring surgeons. I have no doubt that this is going to be one of the most insightful conversations of this program. Please join me as we welcome Dr. Raghav Bansal. Chief Bansal, are
Hi,
you on the
hi,
call, please?
hi. Good afternoon. Am I audible and am I visible?
Yes, you are visible and you are audible. Lovely to have you. You are now muted, Dr. Raghav. Please, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. It's unmuted now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, am I allowed to share my PPT? Can I open that?
Yes, you are allowed to share your screen, please.
Yes. Okay, sir.
If you have, okay, nice.
Yeah. Okay. Is this visible?
Yes,
Uh,
your screen is visible. Please, you may proceed.
yes. Okay. Okay. So, good afternoon, one and all. And I am Dr. Raghav Bansal, and thank you, Dr. Otobo, for such a wonderful introduction. And like it's really grateful to be here today. And without wasting any further time, let's dive into it. Okay. So today I'm presenting my topic on journey of future surgeon, challenges, opportunities, and insights. Yeah. Okay, so this is the table of contents, and yeah. So introduction. Now, what is the purpose of this talk? Now, the purpose of this talk is now being a future aspiring surgeon to explore what lies ahead for the next generation of surgeons in an ever-evolving global healthcare landscape. Right now, now is the time. Now, surgery is no longer local. Now, we all know that it's becoming global day by day, and it's becoming, you know, tech driven, and it is rapidly evolving. Now, I- till the past decade, the surgery was evolving on a scale like, in decades or, in years. But nowadays, surgery is evolving at such a fast rate that we are, like seeing measurable changes and measurable, like inventions and outcomes in a few days or in few weeks, right? Now we are just not learning procedures right now. We are preparing to lead surgery into a new era. Now, earlier times it could be, you just learn procedure and you just right you just do it on a patient. But now we are preparing to lead the global surgical scenario in a new era, right? Now the changing landscape. Now we all know that the surgery is it's a total changing landscape now. Now, in changing landscape, what I would like to discuss is the technological disruption first, right? Now, as we all know, we are entering into an era of robotics, artificial intelligence, and augmented reality in surgery. Minimally invasive surgery is at a whole new level right now, right? Now, globalization of care, now cross-border training, global surgical, like equity, like it's all over like globe, and we know like now the cross border training or with the advent of like the telesurgery, even if you're sitting in one continent and you can perform a surgery in the other continent. I mean, like if we were to think of this concept a few decades back, now this would have been a total alien concept and this would have been declared a total impossible thing. But now it is possible. And even now, even we are reading about like people are performing telesurgery while sitting in a mobile, like a moving unit, and they are performing while traveling also. Now surgeons have even started operating while traveling also. So this is the future we are talking about. And I think as a future surgeon, you're not only limited to read books, or you're not just limited to learn procedures. That's a part, that is a part you must know to perform surgeries. But besides that, you need to understand the depth of the situation right now, that we are going to lead this branch into a whole new era. So we have to be updated, and we have to like introduce, or we have to use resources that are available right now. And the most important thing I want to talk about is the global surgical societies. Global surgical societies are playing a very pivotal role in shaping minds of future surgeons. Now let's see how is that being you know carried forward. Now societies like the Operating Room Global, TORGS, MCH, along with many others, are playing a very vital role in shaping the minds of future surgeons. Now, a few years back, if we had to think like the global surgical societies were a new concept, were a fairly new concept, and the access to these societies was very limited, right? And like being a low socioeconomic country, or being a like developing country, it is very difficult to get access to these global surgical societies. But now, with the advent of these global surgical societies, these societies have proven to provide a global collaborative platform for the endeavors of future surgeons, right? Now research is now more accessible than it was far before. Now, you know through the advent of these global surgical societies, the medical education has been taken to a whole another level, right? Now the research component has been taken to a whole another level. Imagine a person sitting in India, or for that matter in Africa, is going to collaborate with another surgeon who is sitting in Italy, or who is sitting in US, and they are all doing a collaborative research, and that too on a similar topic. I mean, if we had to understand the depth of the situation, a, a few years back this might not have been possible. But with the advent of global surgical societies, these have provided such a global collaborative platform that even if it doesn't matter if you belong to a low socioeconomic country, or if you belong to a developing country, you have free access to global education and global opportunities all around you, and global leaders that are just you know a membership away, we can say. Right now, we can't deny the fact that because of these organization, the global surgery landscape is changing rapidly. Like for a matter of fact, I know, like, this is an example. Like, I'm an active part of TROGS, right? I'm ambassador of TROGS, and I'm also leading an global surgical society, MCH. And these societies, like you know these society has proven such a beneficial thing for my career. Like, I have been getting so much research opportunities, like, which would not have been possible if these societies were not exist did not exist, right? Now, what are the challenges that are we are facing now? The challenges are the ever changing technology. We all know that the technology is changing at such a fast pace, and we are not at all capable to like keep up to it. And it is very difficult for like low socioeconomic class countries to keep up with these trends and to get access to this technology. But this is where the the global surgical societies come a part of. The intercontinental training program of TROGS is such a wonderful program that provides world class robotic surgery training, and all the and essential research training, and all the observership opportunities, free of cost, right? Now imagine thinking of this concept a few years back. Now, next point is access and global health inequities, right? Now we all know, like, global surgical care is such a luxury right now. Like, access to surgery has always been a luxury. And for countries like ours, also like India, the cost factor is like very much. So like, there is also a financial and institutional pressure that comes, and these are like challenges we have been facing from past decades also, and we are facing now also. Now, this is where, the things change, like Dr. Ovido like talked about. Now this is where the leaders step in. Now I can't think of a better leader than Professor Ovido, Dr. Overcole, right now these people have are playing such a pivotal role in shaping and in changing these, financial and, institutional challenges that we are facing now, with the sponsorships from, journals, with the sponsorship from other clubs, or with the sponsorship from universities. Now people are, future surgeons are really getting good access to the quality healthcare that is prevailing right now, right? And the challenge that comes to us is the human element. Now as we're diving deep and deep into robotics, AI, now somewhere we are, also letting go of, or somewhere I can say, like, it is very important to not to lose the human element also. Now in the previous talk, as we, as we listened, that, ultimately we are serving humanity. Now ultimately we don't have to serve robots, or, robots are just an, like, what we can say, an alias to us. It's just for there to, it's just existing there to, just assist us. But we don't have to, serve robots. We have to serve humanity, and this is where the human element is lacking. People, you know these days, now, as I am a future aspiring surgeon, right? Now I see my peers, or I see like other future aspiring surgeons also. Now somewhere between, running behind education, running behind research opportunities, running behind, like observership opportunities. Now we are somewhere lacking the human element, the human touch. Like the feel of touching the patient, the feel of examining the patient. Like the feel of, sitting bedside to a patient and listening to his stories and listening to what complaints he has, brought. Now we just don't have to rush our patients directly into the OT. Now, a good surgeon, a good and an experienced surgeon is one who, who knows like when not to do surgery, right? Now every experienced surgeon might agree to this statement, right? Now he's the one who thinks like, how can I avoid surgery, how can I treat this patient without surgery? Because once you make that cut, once you make that incision, surgery is such a life altering event for a person. Like we as a surgeons, like tend to like dissolve this feeling, but for a patient like who is going under your knife, now he knows like how much of a life altering event that is. So I think the human element has to be taken care of. Doesn't matter if AI comes, if robotics come, the human element has to be taken care of, right? Now comes the opportunities. I would love to discuss on this topic, right? Now, opportunities, digital fluency. We are in a digital era, right? If we were to, if we were present a few decades back, now digital, now, this would have been a dream, right? Now we are present in a digital world where I am sitting in a very remote area in India, and I am connected with you guys all over the world. I'm connected to people in Africa, Italy, US, France. I'm connected everywhere. So, like, if we understand the depth of this, opportunity, like this is such a beautiful thing to be connected digitally worldwide, right? Second comes the interdisciplinary teamwork and collaborations. Now we, as surgical societies, know like we are doing such an interdisciplinary teamwork that, people from all over the world, from all corners of the world, are, like connected together. And, like for example, if we are conducting a research, people from all over, all corners of the world are, doing a teamwork. And this not only, promotes collaborations, this promotes a feeling of, you know like togetherness also, right? Now global digital classrooms like surgeon platform. Now surgeon platform is such a wonderful concept that has recently been launched, and they are providing free of cost quality education from global surgical leaders from around the world for free, right? Now imagine you are getting access to quality US education, right? Now from USA, the surgical leaders, the people who are, you know like a, they're top, in the top tier of their profession. They are, teaching us on topics. Now imagine this quality education being being served at your comfort of your home. Like I can't even imagine like where we are, like moving, right? Now the global research, now the research is at such a fast pace right now that we are publishing papers at such an high speed, and not even kidding, like these are some of the very best and very, like high quality research papers that are being now published, and all with then just a little effort of the global collaboration and teamwork. And last of all is the global surgical advocacy, right? A few decades back, we didn't know like what was like global surgery, what global surgery advocacy looked like, right? But now we know like how important it is to promote global surgical advocacy, how important is it is to, make global surgery an essential part of healthcare all around the world, in all the countries, right? Now, insights. Now, this is a beautiful topic, and being in future aspiring surgeons, I can, I have so many insights. The first insight is a surgeon is a lifelong learner, first of all, right? We all know surgeon is a lifelong learner, right? it this doesn't mean that once we have completed a fellowship, once we have completed a residency, it ends there, the education ends there. No, this this I have seen, like the surgeon is a lifelong learner, and this doesn't mean that you are learning just your syllabus. You're, the people in their late 40s, 50s, 60s are, who were not, like able to access minimally invasive surgery. They are learning that surgery is that, surgeries right now. Like I know a surgeon who is 70, who is beyond 70s, and he is now learning laparoscopic cholecystectomy. Now you can see, as surgeons, like it is such an inherited trait that we are a lifelong learner, right? Now adaptability is the new scalpel, right? Now the most vital skill will be the ability to adapt to the rapidly evolving technologies and the global health needs. And we all know, like keeping in mind like today's scenario, the present scenario, the most vital skill will be the adaptability. And you might think, like, how will this adaptability come? How can I be exposed to such global opportunities? Now this is where digital, like this is where the digital fluency, this is where the global surgical society step in. Once you're a part of global surgical society, you will realize that, adaptability has become such an inherited part. And being a future surgeon, it is need of the hour to be adaptable to the new technology. It this doesn't mean that you have to, forget the old concepts, you have to forget the basics. Just keep in mind these all points are, we have to keep all these points in our mind, but our foundation will come from the basics only. Our foundation of the surgery is, the core foundation of the surgery remains from the simple basic surgical concepts. Okay. Now the most important thing, so technology is a partner, not a replacement. you know think about this line, like, the advent of robotics, it is just our partner, it is just there to assist, it is just there to, make the prognosis of the surgery even better. It is not a replacement, right? We are not getting replaced by robotics. And we need to understand one thing, that, you know we robots should not be able to control us. We are controlling robots. Okay, the control is in our hands, right? Now we as humans have built the robots, and we have the control, and we we as humans have the capability to, like steer the robots in our favor, right? Now, robots don't have the human decision making, they don't have the empathy towards patients, and most importantly, they don't have the accountability, and that will remain irreplaceable. Someone will not sue the robot that is operating. They will, like put a medical legal case against the surgeon, against the hospital. you know they Robots are not going to show empathy, they are just there to assist us, right? Now empathy will only come from a surgeon itself, right? Now collaboration defines success. Now the era of lone genius surgeon is over. You can be a genius, you can be, top tier in your field, but if you don't have the collaborations, if you don't have the network, if you are not adapting to the ever changing scenario of the surgery, you you are just being a lone genius surgeon. And that is not a bad thing to have, but as we are approaching the new era of surgery, it is not a wise thing to be, right? Now, equity and access are core responsibilities. A future surgeon must see themselves as a global citizen, ensuring safe surgery is accessible beyond privileged center. Now, this line, touches my heart when we say, ki, like the, ensuring safe surgery is not only accessible to privileged high class centers, it should be accessible to each and every human possible. And that is where we as a future surgeon step in. That is where we have to, play a key role of being a future surgeon. And that is how we have to, advocate for the global surgery, right? Now these are some takeaway messages, and these are some of the recommendations from myself. Collaboration is the key to move forwards. This fact we cannot deny, and the collaboration will be the key to move forwards in the future, right? Embrace innovation, but don't fear it. Embrace robotics. Like, see the beauty of robotics. Like it, like our ancestors wouldn't have thought, like, a robot operating on a person, right? Now embrace that innovation, but don't fear it, right? Use it to your advantage, and not just fear it. Okay, the future is not just arriving, we are creating it. As humans, we have the capability that, to create something to our advantage, and robotics is just the child of that thought, right? The surgeon of the future is not just a master of anatomy or surgical techniques. He is a leader. He's an innovator, a global surgery advocate, and a compassionate healer at the end. Now, as in previous talk, we listened about how to be a good, leader. Now, this is very important that a future surgeon must be a good leader himself. Okay. Now, thank you guys. That was my time. I hope you guys had, a wonderful time. And yeah, thank you so much.
Amazing, 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 Chief. It was really, really wonderful to listen to your conversation, especially how your topic speaks to young surgeons to take opportunities available to them, to employ themselves in learning, to do their best to go beyond and above just what a surgeon is to do, to try and learn the new technologies now around. You are never too old to learn new technologies. In fact, I remember in April, I was in a microsurgery training in Boston at Brigham's and Women Hospital, and there were about 15 of us. 14 of those were all elderly neurosurgeons, and we're learning microsurgery, introduction to microsurgery. And I remember there was an elderly neurosurgeon from Pakistan that came, and he says he wants to improve his microsurgery skills. So we're never too old to learn, and we're never too young to learn. And truly, we should always remain compassionate, as you said, and try not to become the robots that we're using to do the surgery, and retain our humanity. I really loved your conversation and learned a lot from you. But because of time, I'm going to accommodate two questions from the audience. Okay, Dan Nivad. Okay, those in the audience, please, can you bless us with two questions for Dr. Bansal? And please keep your questions straight to the point, or else I'll turn off your mic. Okay, two questions. You can also type it in the chat box, and then I'll ask the question for you. Okay.
Yeah.
It seems. Okay. There is a question from one of the, I don't, the person sent it on WhatsApp. Sorry. The question is, please, what opportunities are available for young surgeons in different continents to interact and partner on research projects, especially those who have like, sorry, let me just say, especially those who have research projects that they've not yet published. How can they link up with experienced young researchers so that they can get their works published?
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, so I'm going to give an example for this and explain it very clearly, right?
Okay.
Now, if you're talking about a young surgeon who is like seeking out opportunities, now first is medical education, right? Now, medical education is almost free and so accessible right now. And as I have talked about various platforms, right, like Surgery Unified platform, like which basically provides free academic webinars, right? And the other one is Get Into a Good Global Surgical Society, right? Now, getting into a good global surgical society like TORGS itself, right? Now, the Robotic Global Surgical Society is such a wonderful, like collaborative platform where, like I till 2024, I just had one publication, and in 2025, like 7 months into 2025, I have 10 plus publications, right? Now you can see the impact of being in a global surgical society, and all thanks to Dr. Vido and Dr. Adalabu Murad for like placing a step keystone in the world itself. Now there people are so collaborative that you just have to express your interest, or you just have to express your query, and people are at your you know disposal all the time. I have been
Yeah.
collaborating with surgeons all over the world, and they have provided me with such wonderful opportunities to publish my researches. And even I have led a book chapter also. Now in Dr. Vido's book, I tend to have book chapter, and all this was possible just because I had a platform to rely on, right? Now my advice would be to get into a good global surgical society, right, like TORGS itself, or Magister Karoji MCH, where you'll not only have opportunities, but you will have a place to collaborate, a place to network yourself, a place to advocate for yourself and for your country, your region, like everything. So that would be my recommendation, and that is how one young surgeon, or even experienced surgeons, can get introduced to these things.
Amazing. I think in India they say shukriya or dhanyavad. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor uh, Otoro, and thank you so much, Professor Adibus Cole, to host me here. And this has been a really wonderful time. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. It's lovely to have you. Literally, I'm going to tell my mentees about you, and you'll be expecting some emails from them, please, so that they can start getting collaborative opportunities at the young stage before they become too old.